Hello and a very good morning to Dr. Darwinda and to all my fellow friends. So my group and I are choosing climate change issue during the reign of Barack Obama in United States. My name is Aisha Nabila and I'm going to start with introduction. Scientists once published a paper that show how climate change is altering weather and climate across the United States, as well as how future changes in climate could play out across the country. It also outlines the current state of science relating to climate change and its physical consequences, which was compiled by the Climate Science Special Report (CSSR), which was created by the United States government organization that coordinates and integrates federal research on changes in the global environment and their implication for the society. A report has been issued stating the satisfaction of the people with the environment issue in the US and wants action from the government. So in this paper, we will look into the President Barack Obama action taken to overcome this climate change issue. The objective of this study to understand the issue of climate change in America, and then to identify the leadership skills of American President Barack Obama, and lastly to analyze how President Barack Obama tackled this climate change issue by his own leadership skills.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurhanani binti Azmi, metric number 272181. So I would like to continue this presentation with the theory of leaderships. So leadership styles refer to a leader's normal specific behavior as viewed by others around that person. So every leader creates a system in how he interacts with his workers or followers in different contexts. The concept and knowledge of the leader all contribute to the leader's leadership style. So this is also released mostly on kinds of followers and organizational capabilities. In this paper, the democratic leadership style was chosen because it looks from Barack Obama leadership style that approach to decision making. As we know, democratic leadership distributes decision making authority among the group and the leader. So democratic leaders actively participate in discussions while also listening to the perspective of others. Competent democratic leaders may also bring out the inventiveness of the team. So the leaders keeps final responsibility for the group's decision within this style. For instance, as part of Climate Action Plan, President Obama signed an executive order on November 1st, 2013, establishing a task force on climate preparedness and resilience to advise the administrations on how the federal government can respond to the needs of communities nationwide that are dealing with the impacts of climate change.
Good day everyone, my name is Ramisha Pushpanathan and my metric number is 272710, and now I'll be explaining about the background of the issues. Climate change, according to President Obama, poses the greatest threat to our children, our planet and our future generations, and no other country on earth is better positioned to lead the world toward a solution. That is why, under President Obama's leadership, the United States has done more than ever before to tackle climate change. Skeptics predicted that these initiatives would result in job losses. Instead, during the biggest job creation streak in American history, drove our carbon pollution to its lowest levels in 2 decades. In fact, carbon emissions have reduced by 9% since the president took office, while the US economy has grown by more than 10%. More than any other president in history, we negotiated the landmark Paris Agreement and safeguarded more than 550 million acres of public lands and streams, with significant investments in developing industries like wind and solar that have resulted in a constant supply of new jobs led by any examples. Established first ever national regulations to limit how much carbon pollution, mercury, arsenic and other hazardous chemicals power plants can release into the air of our children breathe. From black bears in Louisiana to sea turtles and manatees in Florida, they saw more successes under the Endangered Species Act than any prior administration. They declared the great majority of Arctic US waters in the Chukchi and Beaufort seas off limits to offshore oil and gas exploration indefinitely. They also established new monuments and historic places that more accurately reflect the story of all of our people. So that's all from me. Thank you.
A very good day I bid to Dr. Darwinda. I'm Sri Anji Devi, Daughter of Arjunan, and today I'm so delighted to explain about President Obama's efforts in mitigating climate change. President Obama strongly believed that no challenge poses a greater threat to the children, to the planet, and also the future generations than climate change. And also, no other country on earth is better equipped to lead the world towards a solution. That is why under President Obama's leadership, the United States has done more to combat climate change than ever before, while at the same time growing their economy. In fact, since the president took office, carbon emissions have decreased 9%, while the US economy grew more than 10%. President Obama led global efforts on climate change which resulted in a historic Paris Climate Agreement with more than 119 countries coming together to adopt the most ambitious climate change agreement in the history. The Paris Agreement established a long-term, durable global framework to set the world on a course to mitigate the most dangerous levels of climate change.
In my first inaugural address, I committed this country to the tireless task of combating climate change and protecting this planet for future generations. 2 weeks ago in Paris, I said before the world that we needed a strong global agreement to accomplish this goal.
The Clean Power Plan by President Obama had set achievable standards to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 32% from 2005 levels by the year 2030. Since the president took office, the administration has made the largest investment in clean energy in the American history, including increasing solar generation by 20-fold and also tripling electricity production from wind power. It is highly believed that the Clean Power Plan will lead to 30% more renewable energy generations in the year 2030.
In an effort to address climate change, the Obama administration has finalized a new rule designed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the nation's largest energy sources. The Clean Power Plan is the first set of national standards to cut carbon emissions, affecting new and existing power plants. The Environmental Protection Agency rule requires the nation's existing power plants to cut carbon emissions by approximately 32% from 2005 levels by 2030, requiring each state to comply by developing its own plan. The policy could force hundreds of coal-fired power plants to shut down and create a boom in the production of wind and solar power. Opponents of the plan argue that these regulations could radically transform the nation's energy sector, resulting in higher electricity rates and less jobs. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky is leading an effort to challenge the EPA standards, even proposing congressional protection for governors who refuse to comply. If the states fail to submit a plan, the EPA is prepared to implement a standardized plan of its own, which could set the stage for a lengthy legal battle that could ultimately wind up at the Supreme Court.
We have not done nearly enough to address this crisis. We are going to have to do more. As the world's second largest emitter of greenhouse gases, the U.S. has to lead. We have enormous responsibilities.
President Obama had built deeper collaborations with other countries like Canada, Mexico, China, India, and other countries as an expanded efforts to combat climate change and promote clean energy. Barack Obama was a respected figure and highly admired leader in the eyes of many people around the world. And he was ultimately admired for his actions in curbing climate changes and his perspectives, viewing the issue as a serious threat to the future generations. Obama had gained the people and global support with his charismatic and energy along with his expert power in combating climate changes.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Najihar and my part of the presentation largely revolves around the analysis on President Obama's engagement in climate change and environmental issues as a democratic leader. Firstly, I have done comparative analysis on President Obama's leadership in tackling climate change with Trump. President Obama's concern on the environment could be evidently seen when he tightened the safety rules for offshore drilling operations after the disastrous explosion at a BP oil in Mexico, which marked the surrounding coast and deep seas. But this initiative of his was rolled back by Trump. The reason why his firm stand in tightening the safety rules depicts a democratic leadership style is because a democratic leader like Obama would consider all aspects of an operation in ensuring the productivity of the workers involved in a particular industry, and in this sense is offshore area. In this case, Trump favored the oil and gas leaders and went against various environmental groups, while Obama has showcased his excellent management skills when an environmental crisis occurs. These two contradictory incidents reflect Obama's sincerity in the issue concerning climate change and Trump's greediness in the issue concerning climate change. Moreover, the highly praised policy by Obama called the Clean Power Plan (CPP) was introduced in order to curb greenhouse gas emissions emitted by the US. This policy was applauded because it reflects the fact that the US, as a global superpower and developed country, acknowledges climate change and its consequences. Democratic leadership showcased by Obama during this time can be acknowledged as he initiated a measure that ensures the goodness of the global community and sustainability of the environment in the long run. This very initiative was repealed by Donald Trump through an executive order. In contrast to the environmental friendly policy by Obama, Trump has come up with the affordable clean energy that emphasized looser restrictions on individual power plants. And these two cases itself portray the differences between Obama as a democratic leader in handling climate change issues, unlike Donald Trump. Secondly, an analysis of the speeches presented by President Obama on climate change done shows that acknowledgement is a very important aspect of a speech, since it shows that the speaker truly understands the current situation and is willing to take action on the concerned matter. Although some state leaders fail to acknowledge climate change and its impact in the long run, President Obama has always recognized its existence and the magnitude climate change carries on a large scale. As an instance, Obama had given his remarks at the United Nations Climate Change Summit in New York back in 2014, where he started off his speech by addressing that America has recorded the hottest temperature in the past decade, floods at high tide occur in Miami often, and wildfire season has now become a common phenomenon. He then continued his speech to inform the rest of the audience of the steps undertaken by the US as the second largest emitter in tackling climate change. The phrase second largest emitter indicates that President Obama is a leader who gives importance to accountability as he acknowledges that the US is the victim of its own environmental misconduct. Undeniably, President Obama's speeches are very articulate and the words he uses carry the depth of the situation. In the recent COP26 climate summit, the former US President Obama had addressed a few important messages specifically to young generations out there as he realized the magnitude of the issue and the maturity youngsters have in handling them. As addressed by President Obama, the current young generations inherit climate change issues that were failed to be tackled in the past, and he said rightfully youngsters should stay angry to drive the actions against climate change. In fact, he urged the youths to utilize the right of voting, right to when companies create awareness and collaborate with various stakeholders as these kinds of platforms play a pivotal role in mobilizing policies and measures that favor fighting against climate change. Moving forward, the final analysis done was on President Obama's cunning course of action against climate change. President Obama's policy on climate change have never remained as words or plans, but as an action that brings positive results. This has been proven when the carbon emission rate during Obama's administration decreased by 9%, while the economy of the US increased more than 10%. There are few initiatives undertaken by him in realizing the reduction in carbon emissions. For instance, he established a new policy called the American Business Act on Climate Pledge that highlights the support of huge American business entities in strengthening international climate agreement in Paris, which led them to commit in cutting carbon pollution, boost clean energy, and increase low carbon investment. Thus, President Obama is a visionary leader as he knows the loopholes that impede action against climate change and eventually prevent that loopholes by imposing restriction and right measures. Moreover, initiatives taken for climate change should incorporate an overall effort involving various stakeholders, not only within the government, but also extend to the collaboration between agencies. Evidently, the Obama leadership has collaborated with agricultural producers in an attempt of reducing carbon emissions while increased carbon sequestration within the agricultural industries through voluntary and sector-based plans and managed to improve the monitoring and measurement of land sector greenhouse gas emissions. Hence, President Obama is wise in approaching the right entity to help improve action against climate change as the effort of the government alone will not be able to solve the issue. In conclusion, the improvement of the American climate change issue would not have happened if all President Obama did was talk. His administration made an actual effort to save the earth through various means as mentioned previously. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Elizabeth Diawidawati. Thank you, and I will proceed the presentation in the conclusion part. Barack Obama sees that climate change is the most precarious issue that needs more attention. According to his views about climate change issues, he was very committed to addressing climate change and protecting the environment that may have profound impacts on the economy. He had set out a multifaceted approach in dealing with the climate change issues. He is signing an executive order to establish a task force on climate preparedness and resilience, announcing his comprehensive plan to reduce carbon pollution, establishing the Interagency Climate Change Adaptation Task Force, reducing U.S. greenhouse gas emissions, and enhancing multilateral engagement. With major economies, where he launched the Major Economies Forum on Energy and Climate in order to support the international climate negotiations and spur cooperative action to combat climate change. In his first term, the Department of Energy established new minimum efficiency standards for dishwashers, refrigerators, and many other products as well. By seeing the actions and policies undertaken by Barack Obama and comparing to the new president after Barack Obama, it shows that Barack Obama is a leader who succeeded in becoming a problem solver towards problems on climate change issues in the USA. On the other hand, his speech has a great power to influence others. Generally, his speeches are filled with transparency. He never fails to acknowledge the intensity of climate change and the importance of creating awareness in regards to the matters of concern. Regardless of his power of speech, Barack Obama took a bravery action dealing with the climate change issue as well. It can be seen in the Paris Agreement. It was negotiated by President Obama himself and is not called treaties because to reduce the bureaucratic procedures that might be unjust by the Senate in creating policy against climate change. President Barack Obama is the best leader and a good problem solver as a president. He is not only using the influence, but his power and his intelligence as well. So that's for me. Thank you very much.